All right, time to get started on the downpipe. Still waiting on the bearing separator to pull that off and change the clutches. Might as well get this done since it needs to get done. Which is gonna be somewhat difficult because of the spacing in here. In general, like, as you can see, there's a steering linkage right below this. And the gap between the engine and the firewall is pretty close. This run is really close as well. So you can see like the clearance on this side and this side. This is pressed all against the firewall. So probably around 3/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna put it as close as I can to the runner and then have a 45. I have to make, I don't know what angle this is, but it seems like a 45 bend, maybe 30, I don't know. And get a pie cut in there. Then below that, get an extender to go down, and then another 45 or a little different of an angle. I have no idea what I'm gonna need yet, but I'm gonna get started on this. First things first, I'm gonna try and make this pie cut. Packed it up, but I'll show you how, well, one, I'm gonna have to make something to go across that. But down below, ow. Down below, as you can see, it's relatively close to this thing. Now I was thinking maybe like cutting that further back and having this angle up more, but again, it's gonna be touching the chassis of the car and it's already resting against this runner. As you can see, the clearance is like negligible on, it kind of sucks, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna run a pipe straight down probably like 6 or 7 inches and see where I am. I could probably run a 45. The angles are just not normal, so it's not like 90s or 45s, it's like 32s and some weird other angles that I have to figure out how I'm gonna make them. But yeah, whatever, at least I tacked that part up. I'm gonna get the a straight pipe and then get another 45 that I can mount up to it. Okay, all right, got the downpipe on. It's not hitting the chassis. It could go left a little and it'll be closer to this exhaust flange, or runner, sorry, that's coming off of the cylinder number 6. As you can see, once it goes down, I'm gonna have to get another pie cut, pushing it forward, and I'll see how the bottom works out. But I used 3 up top. I think I might have to use the other remaining 2, wherever those are gonna be. There's one of them. Maybe I have 3 then. Yeah, I have 3, nice. So I think I might have enough to get everything squared away at the bottom. I'm gonna see what angles I could use, but so far so good. Just tack these all up, and I'm gonna take a little break and then do the bottom, and hopefully everything works out. Because I was kind of worried about the clearance between the frame rail, not the frame rail, the firewall, I guess. I have no idea what that is, some structure that comes off the side. I still am gonna probably take an air hammer to it and knock it in a little, so just it doesn't rub at all. And most likely wrap this, because I don't like how all this is gonna end up looking after it's welded, to be honest. But hey, who knows, it might end up looking cool. But either way, it's gonna be a lot of heat. That's close to here, and it should most likely be wrapped. Okay, so this is it all tacked together. Didn't shoot it while I was doing everything because honestly there was no good angles and shitty lighting underneath the car. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied. I got it weld everything up now. It only can go in from the bottom. It is kind of long. It's not fully finished. I want to weld, do some of the real welding before, because I know it'll pull certain ways. But the last piece is going to be this, because I want to bring it back straight underneath the car and then weld the V-band to that. So I'm going to start welding all of the joints together and seeing how it fits once everything's welded up. I'm going to start at the top and start fitting it back and forth to see how close I am, because the clearances on this thing, as I showed you guys before, is really, really tight. And this is one really long downpipe, so you never know how it's going to come out after you finish welding that to here to here. But yeah, a lot of pie cuts, but it ended up working out. And here I go. This is kind of warm, but welded it, grinded down the welds. They weren't that pretty, as you can see, but I ran out of flex core stainless, so I have MIG wire. I'm just going to use a gas with it to finish up two more seams, and I got actually 4 more seams, because I got to weld this. I don't know where it went. Remember, it fell on the floor. Great. I'll figure out where it is, but there's a little pie cut that I have to put on the end of this and put this on afterwards. But I do have, this is flux cord mild and this is non-flux. I'm just going to continue to use the flux because that's what I've been welding with so far. Do have a TIG welder over there, but I don't really feel like using it right now. I got to get this done quickly. I started using that another shielded or cord, what's it called? Flux cord MIG wire, but it has a ton of splatter, so I'm not going to use it on the rest of the stuff. I only use it on 2 welds so far, and it just has a ton of splatter. As you can see, there's little balls everywhere up there. I use on the last 2 welds. But yeah, clearance is pretty close here. I can move this down. So you can see the gap there. It basically, it's really close to the number 6 runner. And we got a good gap against the firewall. I could see it from where I am. Let's see if I could see it. I don't know. Yeah, I can, right there. So, there. I am going to push that in more because that is the body of the car. And when it comes to down here, the gap from the top of the chassis is all right. There's a bolt that should be inside this heat shield that never was there, so I'll put it back in or find a screw or something to put it back in there. I do have this last pie cut, which makes it straight, as you guys can see. So, pretty good. Gonna just most likely TIG weld this on. You can see the clearance between the body is like a finger gap. So I'm pretty pleased with this. Came out a lot better. Oh, I always say came out a lot better than expected. But yeah, I guess I should put more hope into myself, or whatever the hell it's called. That's not the correct word. I'm tired. But yeah, it always comes out better than expected, so I guess this is just the way I should expect it to come out, which is proper. But I used all of the pie pieces. This is the last one, so happy I ended up getting those, because I was contemplating just cutting these radiuses that I had, and it wouldn't make sense to be a lot of cuts and more time, so happy I went this route. Just got to finish welding all of this up and then put the V-bend clamp on this and weld it there, and then someone else can make the rest of the exhaust. I might just put a 90-degree on here so it goes out the side of the car instead of just getting soot underneath it. So we'll see. And here's how it looks outside of the car. Grinding down all that splatter that was on it, as well as some of the larger welds. Really love that this is flat at the bottom, kind of perfect. So there we go. Lots of bends, no angles are basically straight because there's a lot of things that I had to miss down there. So I'm actually really pleased the way this came out. Just got to put the V-bend on, and probably cut one of these 90 pipes or 180 pipes that I have so I can make it turn straight out the car. Let me pull this out. So yeah, probably just gonna cut this in half and use it to point it out the side for the time being. Okay, so the downpipe is finished. Gonna get started on the wastegate. I was gonna make some exhaust section with a flex pipe and everything, but I looked at the allotted estimated time that I already put in for this, and it's way past that. So that and the wastegate. So I'm gonna finish up the wastegate and then see what he says he wants to do about it. Then start working on the intercooler. I got that, which is auxiliary radiator for a BMW 750. It seemed like it has more cooling area than the oil cooler that I got for it, because again, there's no space up front for anything. Gonna see how that fits in the spot. I know the other one will fit, but the fan is kind of too large for it, so the fan should fit perfectly in there. That's a bigger core than the one that I have, so we'll see how that goes. But first things first, get this downpipe back on for like the 20th time. Still gonna knock that area out and fit up the wastegate to where the wastegate goes. I'm gonna put a 90-degree on it so it just dumps atmospherically, and hopefully there's space for it, because again, this one area has like none space. Yeah, so let's get started. All right, that was a pain in the ass, but it's in there. Ended up just, using this to squeeze the gate. So the only bad thing, well, not only, there's actually no space at all. I'm gonna go underneath the car and show you guys what's up. I do have a pipe. It's a mild steel pipe that I had to build my turbo kit for my FJ. So I have a 90-degree bend that I'm gonna see if I could use underneath there, but I think this radius is not tight enough. I'm definitely sure it isn't. And there's absolutely no angle that I could get that at to have it work and not smack into the car. So I might have to get a bunch of pie cuts to make another tight radius. But we'll see. I'm honestly just getting sick of this thing. All right. Oh, God. Okay. So now we're here. You can see the wastegate, and where it has to exit is basically just right here. Cannot go this way at all. So I don't want to even ruin this pipe, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to ruin the pipe to see, but I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be able to. We have about, I don't know, probably like 3 inches to curve. Because another dumb thing about this manifold, which I recommend no one getting, the wastegate, if you had a normal engine mount, the wastegate that they supply would hit the motor mount. So if you use OEM motor mounts with turbo bandit on a 201 chassis, the wastegate that they provide is gonna hit the motor mount. So you need smaller motor mounts, which I have. Now the wastegate also has no room if you put a downpipe behind the thing. Also, the wastegate sits so far up that the outlet of the gate will run into number 6 runner. So yeah, I don't think this is a very good design manifold at all. It's actually shit. This is the second one I'm using on a car. I'd never use it again or recommend anyone get it, because it just makes everything complicated. Even the water pipe cooler I had to modify, get a different one, because the one that came with the 606 didn't work. I had to get one from a 605 turbo from a 124 because it bent down. The coolant tank, it puts the turbo in an odd position. But anyways, let me stop ranting. But yeah, that the turbo sits down and up, so the backside of the turbo is facing upward. Even though motor is tilted down, the turbo is still like at the most odd angle of positioning the front or forward part, the compressor side of the turbo, down and the exhaust side up. Weird as hell. But yeah, I am going to probably just get pie cuts because this is definitely not going to work. Even once this is on, it's going to sit even further back. Yeah, the radius is not good, and it's going to hit this runner. I have no idea how the hell this is going to work, to be honest. But I got to order some stuff, order a few pie cuts and see if that'll work. But goddamn, this is annoying. All right, so this is what it looks like after I cut that end piece off. I don't know if there's enough space. I'm going to test that out right now, and hopefully there is. Okay, that actually wasn't worth the rent. I actually got it. I pointed it way more forward. I'm going to have to move. If you see the oil inlet line, where is it? There it is. Gonna have to move it up slightly. That pipe down there, I just tacked it on, so I don't want to be too rough with it, but I'm gonna pull it up more. I'm gonna go into the, nice. Don't be too rough and just like slam it into the bottom. So you can see down here, go a little wider. Tacked it on. There's gonna be a huge gap at the top because of the angle that it's at, but you can see how close it sits to the oil inlet line. I'm gonna have to angle it all the way up because I don't know where how the steering link goes. I'm thinking it stays parallel. I hope it does, but I'm gonna angle it a little slightly up away from this shock back out. So there's a shock right here, so I'm gonna angle it up towards the motor. Still have some gaps on each side. Gonna have to just, I think I could just, yeah, I'm gonna have to move this up slightly. I hope I can. Yeah, so move the turbo oil line up slightly just so it's away from here, and this definitely probably should be wrapped. It's not going to be open all the time, even with full throttle runs. I think it opens at 2.5 bars, so I don't think, so it will open because that's when it's set to open, but I'm going to adjust it so it doesn't do that. Again, this is Turbo Bandit setup. I wouldn't recommend doing this on anyone's car, but if they have a 606, or even an M104, I don't like it. Just gonna be honest. I'm pretty sure I've ranted about it enough, but whatever. That's done. I'm gonna weld the whole entire thing up, put the downpipe on, tighten everything up, and be done with this, and then move on to the cold side. As I was saying, there's this tack that I did. I couldn't see anything, and that's the gap that's at the top that I'm gonna have to try and fill in, because of the angle that it has to be at. So it's more than 90 inward, I guess. But yeah, that's the only way we could clear everything. I thought I would just have to get a bunch of pie cuts, but this works out a lot better than trying to get pie cuts. That's a shit ton of welding. So I'm just gonna weld this all up, seal this massive gap that's right here. And yeah, that's it for the downpipe. This should be wrapped in something. Again, I'll talk to the owner about it, see what he wants to do with all the piping, because they all should be wrapped with thermal wrap. Okay, downpipe and dump are done. You can see the dumps back there. Everything actually clears pretty nicely. Again, I think everything should be wrapped, but we'll see what he says. Right now, I am working on this. I have to make a bracket. This is a coolant reservoir tank that I made for my car. Ended up using it on this one. I'm gonna make a bracket for it, which is gonna be basically, there's 2 holes here, or 2 studs from the original coolant, and this is from the original coolant reservoir, and this is from clearly the washer tank. Drill a couple holes, Probably make an, I don't know, like an L shape going up and then connect it to these two holes in the back. Let's see the process of that. Right, that other section's done. Now I'm working on the bracket for the coolant container itself. Already marked everything out, so gotta drill it and then I'm gonna weld it to it. I'm gonna cut this side off. I might make like a little triangle brace so it doesn't have a 4.5 movement because it's a pretty long bar, but it actually is pretty thick too, so I don't know if it'll move or not. I doubt it, but we'll see. There we have it, coolant bracket. So, gotta still paint this because it's mild, so it'll rust. I'll actually just show it once it's on because I need both my hands. All right, and this is how it looks. Decently sturdy. So, I'm just gonna paint this. Probably just gonna put some POR 15 on it or spray paint, but I gotta put POR 15 on the diff housing, so I might do this at the same time since it needs to get done, but yeah, can't complain. I wonder what it's tapping on. Oh. Is it? It's not touching anything. Oh, I'll put some foam behind it. It's kind of tapping on that tower. Maybe once it's all the way down, well, once it's all the way down, it's not gonna be moving at all, but I put like a little piece of foam rubber. I have a couple of sticky things that I could throw behind it. But hey, can't complain. Looks decent. Everything connects to it. Let me see how the blanket looks on it. It's close. All right. Got a little bit of a gap, but cool. That'll work. All right, so I guess now I could work on the charge pipe. Actually, I need to make a little more brackets. I need to make a bracket for this too. Most likely gonna mount it over here in this gap. But yeah, this kind of sucks, but they need to be made. So it's time now to start fabbing the bracket for this. I got some aluminum over there. I'm gonna use that instead of steel because I just don't have any more left and I want to cut up like little sections of stainless plate that I have. So I'm gonna use that. It's I don't even know if I have any straight bar. Nope, they're all 90s. So I'm gonna cut and measure. Most likely just gonna bring it up and then make bolts, make it bolt to here. So I'll see how that goes. Because I don't think on the back side would be a bad idea because it's gonna get close to the power steering pulley. If I bring it forward, yeah, definitely would be too close. So most likely gonna drill holes through here and put a couple screws in. That should be clear. So that's the begin. The two bracket pieces are made. So it's gonna go down, kind of skewed. But yeah, time to MIG weld.